Hello and welcome to the Fandom Academy podcast. I am your host today, Jaiden Mandalorian, and I am joined by my two friends, CJ and Laila. How you guys doing today?
Good. How are you guys doing? I'm excited to be here.
Very good. Very excited.
Absolutely. First podcast episode for us. How do we feel?
Very, very excited. Hyped. I've been ready.
I know, it's so cool that we're finally doing it. It's been so long that we've been planning it. And it's here.
This has been in process for like months at this point. But hey, it's 2023. It's the time for new beginnings, and we're newly beginning a podcast. But what is the Fandom Academy podcast? We are a group of young creators that decided we wanted to create a space for other young creators to kind of meet up and talk about their journey. A lot of people our age in this industry have a tough time overcoming certain obstacles and kind of getting through this whole space and getting their voice out there and getting heard. So that's what the Fandom Academy is. We bring them on here and we kind of just shoot the shit. We talk about things in fandom that we want to, and we have a fun time doing it. Let's get into our hosts here. I am Jaiden Caramander, and as I told you guys before, I started my content creation career back in high school. I was a junior, to be specific. I just started making stupid edits, edits of me and my buddies, our hangout sessions. We would go out and, just film, and I would edit it up, and it would be like a blast. It would be like some of the greatest memories I have are me sitting in front of this computer and editing videos of my friends. It would be the funniest thing ever. And they would get shared around school and stuff. And it was just stupid fun. But once I made it to senior year, is when I kind of made this decision to kind of pursue it as like a full-time career. And it's now something that I really think I can get into as a professional, and something that has been a very, very much of a struggle. Like I said, being young in this space isn't always the easiest thing. And finding that experience and finding someone to take you in with lack of experience is definitely very tough. But with that being said, after, a few years of being in this space, I met some really awesome people. Laila was actually the first friend that I ever made in this industry. So that's really cool. But then through her, I met the Agents of Fandom, and shout out to Garrett and TJ and Ruben as well for kind of bringing me into that space and bringing me into, their fandom umbrella. And since then, it has been amazing. I have been creating nonstop. This podcast is the latest in the journey for me. So that's really exciting. And 2023 has a lot of really cool things in store. But, that being said, we have a very impressive team. And part of that impressive team is young Laila over here, who has been a content creator as well for the last few years. So Laila, take it away.
It's Laila.
Yeah, I mean, I just started making like random TikToks in like quarantine in 2020. I think I looked back and like my first TikTok was in like May 2020. So that's fun. And I just kind of had a lot of things to show, and I didn't really think a lot of people would be interested, but then it kind of blew up into this thing, and then I started. It's actually really weird, like when I think about it, like thinking about how I met like TJ and Garrett and you guys, and it's like I had a Stan Twitter account. Like this is how I got into everything. I made a Twitter account in like 2017 for Marvel, and then I just started making all these friends. Like, it's so weird when you think about it. And then like here we are, like we have this job, and it's like it all started from that. So it's just kind of funny to think about, but it's also kind of cool. I started studying journalism at uni, but I didn't really vibe with it, which is fine. That's all fine. So now I'm just kind of doing this as much as I can and really enjoying it. And I still make TikToks. And yeah, and it's just been a really fun journey. And I think starting this podcast is going to be a really great thing to kind of shed light on what we've struggled with and the things that we've found hard and the things that we've like grown in and enjoy about this space, and kind of link that with other people that we're going to be bringing onto the show and just our audiences, and just create like a fun environment. And I'm really looking forward to see where it goes.
Absolutely. That is what the Fandom Academy is about. We bring people together, especially us, our young creators out there that need a space to share their voice. But yeah, that's really cool. Now, CJ, give a little intro, buddy.
Hey everyone, I'm CJ. I, like the rest of you, am a big nerd. I love everything Star Wars, Star Wars, all of it. It's what brought me the passion to want to do this job. I really fell in love with it by the coverage of it, the like different podcasts, different journalism outlets, all of that stuff. I really fell in love reading articles, watching podcasts, like I just said, and honestly, being a part of the community is what really made me want to work in this industry because community is the best part, and that's something I hope we can build at Fandom Academy. I'm currently a film student in university, film and media, so I'm learning more about the movie process, how it's being made, and what's being done, and I hope that better me into being a better coverage worker person, whatever we are. But I'm excited to be here.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So, like I said, it is now 2023. So there's a lot of potential being that this is literally the second week. By the time this episode drops, it's the second week of 2023. So we have an entire year to go through. Now, I want to hear what you guys are most excited for moving forward. Laila, I'm going to start with you because I feel like we both already know what you're going to say.
So I have two very important things I'm looking forward to. One of them starts next week, and that is The Last of Us coming to HBO, starring Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. I have been a huge fan of the game for so long, and I've been a huge fan of Pedro for so long. So these two things coming together is actually like, I've been thinking about it today, and I'm just sat here like, how is this real? Like, how have I like not just like dreamed this up? And it's not real. It's not actually happening. But then I'm here and it's like, oh my god, it's actually coming in like a week, and I have to emotionally prepare myself for this because I am not going to survive it. I've been going through some of the gameplay this week. I went start to finish part 1 and part 2, all the gameplay, and I'm just there like, how am I going to sit through this in live action? Like, some of the scenes, I just be sat there sobbing about it, and it's coming next week, and I'm just not ready for it, but I'm also super ready for it. I need this. I've been waiting for this forever, and it's finally happening. And the other thing is The Mandalorian Season 3 coming out on the 1st of March. Speaks for itself. It's The Mandalorian. It's going to be great, and I'm really excited for it.
Of course it is. Of course it is. CJ, what are you excited for?
In 2023, I'm looking forward to one day, and that is July 21st, where we get two of the most anticipated movies of the year back to back. I've seen them back to back, and that is the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer. In one movie, we get this bright, sparkly world. Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie, Simu Liu, all being awesome people in this awesome world. And then we go to this epic Florence Pugh, Robert Downey Jr., Cillian Murphy, Christopher Nolan film. I'm so excited for that day.
Hell yeah. Why did I not know that Florence Pugh was in that film? Like, how have I avoided that information?
The cast is so stacked.
The cast is
it's
insane.
Yeah, it's hard to really pin exactly who's in this movie because there's so many people in this movie.
Like Emily Blunt too. I think I missed.
Yeah, I totally missed that. That's so funny. But yeah, so for me, 2023, I'm mostly looking forward to surprisingly a lot of the DC stuff. I know we got a lot of news in the past week with James Gunn debunking certain things about Wonder Woman and saying that there is an 8 to 10 year slate that they have planned out, and they're going to be releasing some of that stuff this month. But for the most part, I feel like The Flash, that's super exciting, considering, even all the Ezra stuff that we're not going to get into. I think The Flash is going to definitely open up the DCU to kind of get that plan set in place. Again, Blue Beetle, he's my favorite DC character, so him getting his own movie was A, unexpected, but B, happily welcomed. That is something I am super excited for. And again, with what CJ said, I'm really excited for Oppenheimer. It looks like it's going to be an insane movie, and it's going to be peak cinema, 100%.
I'm also really excited for all the DC stuff to come out because I know nothing about like the DC universe, and like all of this stuff coming to light with like the James Gunn situation and a lot of things being like cancelled and stuff. I'm just excited to like carry on because I know nothing, and then like you guys can just keep explaining things to me. Like the only thing I know is like Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie, Queen. That's all I know.
Oh, of course.
Big Wonder Woman 84 gal.
Oh yeah, Wonder Woman 84 is a 5-star film, and I will take no questions at this time.
That's so funny. Speaking of Margot Robbie, I recently, with Babylon coming out a couple weeks ago, I have seen that movie so many times. I just wanted to put an honorable mention It is so amazing. And it's so all over the place and so energetic. And Margot Robbie is such a just ball of energy in that movie, but it is so
It's so good. The minute you
highly
think you have that
recommend.
film figured out, it changes this question. It's crazy.
Oh
The
yeah,
soundtrack of that movie
exactly.
is so good. It's been on repeat this week. I'm just so obsessed with that movie. I need to go see it again.
Dude, yeah. And actually, I went to go see Megan, and we'll get to that in a minute too. And I got this cool Babylon poster. I saw it, and I was like,
Ooh,
dude,
that's
cool.
I
Love it.
have to pick that up. Have to pick that up. Super sick. But yeah, we saw Megan, CJ, and
Megan.
it
What a
was
sick
it was a riot.
movie.
It was a riot. Give me
Yeah.
your thoughts on that.
My main thought is that Megan is a star. We are going to see her for years to come. Absolutely slayed this movie, slayed the house down. Just this movie is so iconic. I mean, I wasn't really expecting much, to be honest with you, and it just blew me away. I left the theater with the biggest smile on my face. I was smiling like 90% of the movie. It's just really fun. It's a fun movie, which is weird considering it's a horror movie, but like she's creepy, but it's also she does the coolest things. It's just a fun time. What do you think, Jaden?
No, dude, it was. I feel the same way. There's a lot of it that I like going into it. We were kind of talking about this before. The expectations that I had were like on par with what this movie actually delivered. And it was
Yeah.
exactly what I thought it was going to be. So that just made it that much more enjoyable. But even then, it was just such a fun movie. Like it was so outrageous and silly, but like, but I will say, and I listen, I'm not really much of a horror guy, but I did jump at the jump scares. I can't say that for everyone else, but I did jump at the jump scares, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Layla, you have any interest in seeing Megan?
I do kind of want to see it. From the things I've heard, it's really funny seeing like high up there critics like watching this film and being like, no, bad, don't see. And then people like other people being like, listen, it's a fun time, like you should go see it. I do definitely want to go see it. I think I'll probably go like next week. Just for like I feel like it's gonna be a Morbius situation. But like if
Yeah.
you expect nothing, you'll get nothing. Morbius is great. So
Facts.
Nope.
maybe I'll enjoy Megan.
Facts. Jaden, you're
Morbius
in the
was
minority on
not great.
Morbius.
Yeah,
Morbius
you
was
are. You're
not great.
outvoted.
Oy, jeez, that's mad funny. All right, so so we touched on this a little earlier in the episode, but Layla next week starts the premiere of The Last of Us, and we already know how excited you are for that. So let's get into a little primer for what we can not necessarily expect, but what we're walking into. What are we walking into with this series, Layla?
You are walking into absolute heartbreak and trauma, and you are going to want to cry the entire time. Okay, real note, the games are just insane. Like, I'm not much of a gamer, and I didn't play it for the game. I played it for the story, and I feel like if you go in with that mindset, that is how you will enjoy the games more. The just Wow, it actually makes me like want to cry thinking about how we are getting Pedro and Bella as Joel and Ellie because their relationship is one of the most beautiful things you'll ever come across in your life. Like that just so quick like chemistry between the two of them and like the kind of resentment between them at first and then like he's just this old soft guy who grows to love this kid and it's very like adding to the Pedro Pascal single father role cinematic universe. You know, like he has Grogu in the Mandalorian, and he just becomes this father figure. And there's just so many lovable characters in this. Like I love Tess so much. I'm so excited for everyone to meet Tess. If you haven't played the games, you're gonna love her so much. And also Bill, and they're actually kind of adapting Bill and Frank's relationship in the show to have kind of a love interest, which we didn't really explore in the game. So to see that is just gonna be so like I'm gonna be like, oh no, again. But yeah, there's just so much I'm looking forward to, and I am just gonna be like the leader of the Gabriel Luna as Tommy Miller fan club because Tommy in the game, I just love him so much, and I love Gabriel Luna, and he is gonna slay in that role. And seeing him and Pedro have their little bromance, it's just gonna be insane. but for the first like 15 minutes of the first episode, I am gonna want to murder the head of HBO for scripting that episode, because a like behind the scenes look got released the other day, and it kind of gives you a spoiler if you haven't played the games of what's going to happen to Joel and his daughter Sarah, and I'm just not looking forward to watching that because I'm going to cry so much. But yeah, it's just going to be such a great time, and I can't believe the show is even real, and I'm so excited for everyone to see it.
You talking got me so excited.
I
Seriously.
know, I
can't
love
wait.
talking about it. Like, I've been telling like everyone I work with, I've been hyping it up to my mum. I was like, Mum, I'm gonna show you like the opening of this gameplay because you are gonna watch this with me and you are gonna love it. And I've been like hyping it up to my sisters. I've been like, guys, I need you to watch this. Like, please, come on, guys. Like, everyone I see and everyone I talk to, I'm just like, you have to watch the last one. And we went on a drive on the weekend and I saw the first billboard I've ever seen with his face on. And I just was like crying in the back of the car. And I was like, oh my God, that's him on a billboard. And then, like, whenever the advert comes on TV, I just start screaming and crying. And it's just, I'm so happy this show is a thing. And I am so excited for everyone to show Pedro and Bella the love they deserve.
That's
For
so
sure.
funny. So the game, Layla, there's 2 parts, right? There's part
Yeah.
1 and then there's part 2. And there are 2 separate games. Is that correct?
They are 2 separate games. I think part 1 came out in 2013 and then part 2 came out a few years later. But I think the show is only focusing on part 1. And then it's
Uh-huh.
not like confirmed whether they're having a season 2, but I think it's like implied and they're sticking to the part 1, and then eventually they'll adapt part 2 maybe in the future, but that's nowhere near confirmed yet. But I really hope they do because part 2 is amazing.
Is it?
So
So
I'm
so in your
totally
No, go ahead, yeah.
yeah. So I've been slacking. I haven't played any of the games.
Disgusting. Come on.
So going into the show, I don't know much other than what the trailers have shown me, and the trailers have all been like really good, and like I love the vibes of the trailer. But like the cast, like you've been saying, this cast is insane. Nick
crazy.
Offerman, I'm a big Parks and
Yeah.
Rec guy, so I'm excited to see him in this different like form. I also love Euphoria, so seeing Storm Reed get more roles and more roles is also getting me very excited. So I
Yep.
just can't wait for next week.
I know.
Yeah, I haven't. I have the games downloaded, and I just haven't found the time to play them. And I know that's no excuse. I know, Layla. I know, but I might do what you did and just like watch the gameplay because
Yeah,
again,
and you can
it's for
find
the
on
story.
YouTube you can find on YouTube videos like where they skip out like the game parts and you can just see like the story parts where you don't have to like interact with it, you just watch it. So I would definitely recommend watching those for like background if you have the time. I just
Right.
want to stress that.
Yeah, definitely. So, in your opinion, would you rather? Which game did you like better, the first part or the second one? Putting
See,
you on the spot now.
I know, I'm
Which-
like the second game is just pure emotional damage, and it's just so beautiful to play. And I'm gonna say part 2, but part 1 for just the nostalgia and the like iconicness. But I would say part 2 is my favorite for sure.
Definitely.
Is there any
Yeah, man,
plans
I'm
for like a
excited.
part 3?
I don't know. I'm not the one to ask about that. I don't think so.
That would be pretty
I
sick.
hope so.
God, if there was a part 3, Layla would melt.
It's just I'm there's so much they could do, but there's also just like I can't go through that again. Please don't put me through any more heartbreak. Like I can't do that.
That's so funny. Imagine they made the game, but they like deep faked Pedro's face instead. Now that he's
This character model Pedro, like they do for Cameron Monaghan and Fallen
Don't do
Order.
that to me.
Just do that.
Oh,
that would be so cool. All right, guys. Well, that's most likely going to wrap up for our intro episode. Pretty short episode. Not much to kind of go around today, but we definitely got into that primer, which has me super excited for The Last of Us. That's going to be really fun to get into moving forward on the podcast. But yeah, anything you guys want to wrap up with at all?
Not really. I feel like we
I'm
did a
just-
pretty good job today.
Yeah, we did.
I'm excited for the coming weeks of The Last of Us releasing because we have some really fun guests planned who I know are really big fans of the game, and I always talk to them about it, and they're coming to join us in a few weeks. And I'm just so excited for the show to start, and I'm probably going to be crying every week. So look forward
Do
to
The
that.
Mandalorian and The Last of Us, like, do they overlap?
They do.
At some-
Oh,
The
Lord.
Mandalorian comes out on a Wednesday, I'm pretty sure, and The Last of Us is a Sunday. But there's going to be weeks where I'm like, what do I do with my life now? Like, it's just gonna go from like having no Pedro content to just being like bombarded with this, and it's gonna be great. I'm gonna thrive through like from the 15th of January till whenever the Mandalorian ends in like May or whatever, like April maybe. I'm just gonna be like just like this every time you see me. I'm gonna be so happy every day of the week.
There was actually news this past week that there's going to be a potential Mandalorian spinoff. There's been speculations that it could be surrounding Bo-Katan. I've also seen that it could be a potential sequel to The Rebels that has been teased and talked about for the last few years now. So that's pretty sick.
Give me either of those, and I will
Yeah.
be going crazy.
I'm so excited for
I
Bo-Katan's
love
villain
Bo-Katan. I'm rewatching the Clone Wars right now, and I just met Bo-Katan, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
so real to
yeah.
me, and I'm so excited.
It's gonna be
That's
great.
cool, man. That's cool. Yeah,
I
well,
need that to
again,
happen now.
no, seriously, 2023 is going to be the year for things to happen. But that is going to wrap up our episode for today. Make sure you're following the Fandom Academy on all of our socials. For Twitter, you can find us at Fandom Academy with 2 Y's. And on Instagram, you can find us at Fandom Academy. Now, make sure you're also tuning into the Agents of Fandom, because I don't know if you guys know this, but we are under their podcast network, which is super exciting. They have a few different podcasts under that. They have The Critics that just launched last week with Isaac Joel. We also have Ticket to Reality and the Listen 3000 guys, which I love them very much. But yeah, you can find us on any podcast platform that you get your podcasts. And yeah, we come out on Tuesdays. So be sure to follow us on Twitter to get those updates and to make sure you're tuning in to our episodes when they release. And yeah, this has been good, guys. Do you guys want to plug your personal socials in?
You can find me on Twitter at cjdar_ and on TikTok at cj.dar. I'm doing some cool things, trying to do more on TikTok, so I'd appreciate a follow there.
Definitely.
And I'm just Falcons Nat on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and follow me on Letterboxd. I'm trying to write more Letterboxd reviews this year. It's not going very well so far. I haven't watched the film this year yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So stick around on there, and yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to get on Letterboxd more. I've watched movies. I'm just not in the habit of updating my Letterboxd, so I'll get it down at some point. But on
I'm like the
anything
opposite.
else,
Like as soon as
No,
as
go
I
ahead. You're
watch
good.
a
You're good.
film, the credits will
That's
start
good.
rolling, and I will open Letterboxd. Like they will literally like this black screen will come on. I'm like, okay, I have to log this. How many times? Like it's
Especially
like
at the theater too, because my
Yeah.
friends would be like all standing up to leave, and I'm just sitting in my chair writing my Letterboxd review.
Literally.
That's funny. Yeah, I got to get into that. I like going through Letterboxd and all of Jamie's Letterboxd reviews. Those are always fun to go through. But you can find me on pretty much any other social at Jaiden.cmduran. And yeah, it's been good, y'all. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Happy first episode launch of the Fandom Academy.
Woo!
Yay!
It's going good. It's going good. This is going to be a really good year, guys. And I'm really happy to be doing this with y'all.